Okay. No, this is literally on Twitch. This is literally a Twitch problem. Someone over at Twitch keeps changing my stream key. 100%. I'm sorry. I don't know who the fuck you are. I hope someone fucking finds you, but I'm done. No, they keep switching my stream key out. It's literally a Twitch problem. It's 100% Twitch on Twitch's back end. Someone over at Twitch is changing my fucking stream key over and over again. And it's nothing I can do. It's like they're doing it on the back end. I don't know who the fuck it is. I don't know if it's like a rogue employee or something. It's not a router problem. My internet is fine. It is. Yes. Yes. It is. I looked. It is literally my stream key keeps suspiciously changing, dude. The fuck? The fuck are you guys doing? Jesus Christ, dude. Who do you need to fire on the fucking back end? What is this shit? Like, they literally, this is the second time that they've changed my fucking stream key in a matter of one stream, dude. Really? God damn it. Is it a Streamlabs problem? No, it's not a Streamlabs problem. No, it's not. I originally thought it was a Streamlabs problem. Dude, guys, I'm a streamer. I can see some of the things that are happening that are changing on the back end. And I see it. Like, my stream key changes midway through the stream. Okay? And when that does, the only way for them to fucking change it is literally if someone on the Twitch backend, someone who works for Twitch, either it's like a fucking rogue administrator or someone like that, is constantly fucking logging me out and changing my fucking stream key. It's not a DDoS. I know for a fact that if that was a direct denial of service or whatever the fuck it's called, then I wouldn't be able to use the internet. Some fucking dipshit like level 1 back end employees like fucking around probably. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm losing my fucking mind. Check the slasher tweet. Yeah, I know. I'm not showing any violence or gore of any kind on the platform. Shut up. Man, it's fucking annoying, dude. Holy shit. Oh. Guys, I don't need to hit up their support team. I'm like, no, I have an account manager. I'm talking to them right now. They're working on it. It'll be fine. I think. Well, you guys think that like no one is looking at literally the there's no way they can't see who's using credentials to do that? Yeah, I gotta run a fucking ad again, but fuck this. I'm not gonna run an ad. No, nobody has editor privileges. Okay, chat, stop trying to offer technical support. You literally don't know what is going on, and there's no way you can know more than me, or no way you can know more than fucking people who work at Twitch who I'm in contact with. Thank you. It's very kind of you to want to help me out, but you're not. You're not going to be helpful at all. There's no way. Okay? I love you all, and thank you for trying to help me out. But you are not going to be helpful in this circumstance. I promise you. Okay? Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Bro, Twitch, I don't know if you guys knew this, but did you know that Twitch didn't have two-factor authentication outside of a phone number until recently, which is the easiest way to compromise your account? They literally only recently started it. Like, you could literally only do two-factor authentication from your phone number, and that's part of the reason why Twitch streamers got SIM swiped quite frequently. And that's part of the reason why I didn't have two-factor authentication until just now. Now they have Authy, and they also have Google, which luckily creates a layer of protection. No, I'm not hacked. I mean, I've had these combos with the fucking hackers who tried to SIM swipe me before. Digital condom, if you will. Yeah. They're fucking up your views for everyone else on the site, Keck. What do you mean? I don't like. I've never used Authy. SIM swiping, not simp swiping. SIM swiping is when some fucking 17-year-old in Tampa engages in what is known as social hacking or social engineering. And what they end up doing is... Why are you saying banned? Oh, because he said simp swiping. Yeah. Some fucking 17-year-old sweatlord hacker in Tampa will call up his homie that works at AT&T to get some information about a particular Twitch streamer or someone like that. And then they will act like they're literally that person, using some of the personal information they have on the other human being by trying to get AT&T to, in an emergency situation, authorize them on the account, basically giving them another SIM card of that fucking phone number. And if you have two-factor authentication on your phone, on your SIM card, basically, they can hack into everything that you own that touches your phone number. One way to avoid that is by having a third-party authentication. Am I saying it wrong? Authentication? Is there no F in it? Oh, I don't know. Authentication? Authentication? Huh. Have I been saying it wrong my entire life? That's crazy. That's weird. Wait. Authentication. Wait, why have I been saying it like that? Am I wrong? It's authenticity, not authenticity. Wait. Shut up. Hold on. Is authentication a real word? Oh, it's a fucking ESL. Several other languages use the form fee with, even though the authentication is correct in English, authentication suggests itself. Authentification. It's because you're thinking of authentified. Authentication with certification. I feel like I've always said it like this, and no one has ever stopped me until today. Authentication sounds so fucking weird now. Yeah. What? Or why did you guys stop me? You broke me, dude. My life has been a fucking lie, dude. Authentication. Anne, do you say authentication or authentication? No, apparently it's authentication, and authentication is wrong. Or I don't know, actually, why am I trusting Americans? They don't even know how to speak their own fucking language. Don't listen to me. They probably are literally wrong. Even though Google did correct me. Authentication. Did you mean authentication? Authentication definition. You had 100 giftications, subtifications. Oh, god damn it. I'm so fucking bent right now, dude. I don't even give a shit currently. I'm so sad. My account got shut down twice today while I was streaming. Thank you, Comrade Rye, for the 100 gifted subs. I don't know, some fucking asshole keeps changing my stream key. I don't know why they, like... I don't know if it's like a rogue employee or some shit, but... really fucked. On the SIM swiping, it's actually called SIM swapping because a hacker is swapping your phone. Oh, it's not swiping. You're right. It is swapping. SIM swapping. Change your password. I already did, brother, but it's not my password that they fucking cracked, okay? And I do have two-factor. It's not that. It's literally on the back end, dude. If someone had access to my fucking account, why would they change my fucking stream key? There's like a million different things that they could do, dummy. Like, changing my fucking stream key is something that someone who does not have access to my account directly could be able to do if they're like an admin over at Twitch, like a staff or some shit. But if they had like actual fucking access to my Twitch account, like full access to my Twitch account, not just like changing my stream key on the back end, then they could literally do whatever the fuck they want. They could change my name from Hasanabi to whatever the fuck they want to change it to. Like,
there. Thank God you're safe with the team. Take us through it.
Well, it was kind of a frenzy, especially once the mob reached the Capitol. There was a huge crowd and people were really, really happy. Like they were thrilled to see each other with like-minded people, but there was also a lot of anger. And so at one point we were filming on top of a staircase and there were these people in their 50s just climbing over it while another man was shouting like, either climb up the stairs as in go to the Capitol or get out of the way. And while most people were really nice to us, but there was also a lot of anger, and if you became the focus of that anger, it was very dangerous. So at one point we had our backs turned and a man threw a glass bottle at our crew and it shattered at our heels.
When you were there and observing the movement toward the Capitol, do you believe that this was something organic?
she used to be at Vice, yes.
That it just became going
Remember
into the
the
Capitol,
incel
or do
video?
you think these people were there with a mind towards stopping this process?
I think it's mixed. There wasn't one big overarching group that was in charge of this, or in charge of the people who showed up. So I spoke to several groups who kind of organized on the internet to come here. Some of them were QAnon conspiracy theorists. Another were a group of sort of survivalists. That group, the person I spoke to in that group had kind of intimated that there might be some kind of storming. But for the most part, it was ad hoc. And again, like mob mentality. Once one person starts doing it, they all want to do it.
And what did they want to do in the Capitol?
Well, I talked to several people who went in there. It was strange. There were two things they described to us repeatedly. One is that people lined up for the bathroom. And the other is that people were smoking pot in one of the offices. It was just being able to say that they were there and that it was people's house and it belonged to them.
Did you notice a difference between this riot and other riots you've been in terms of police kind of disposition towards the rioters?
Oh, is she like a chud now? The way she's describing it makes it seem like they were just like a couple chillers and not freaks that literally had Ziploc on them to, you know, hog tie Nancy Pelosi and kidnap her and shit.
The tear gas has a big impact on them. Something I did see that I see in both, in every protest, is they would go up to the cops and say, how could you do this? Why aren't you defending us? Like, why aren't you joining us? And then another thing I noticed was when people got tear gassed, they were so shocked. Like, they were so shocked that the police would be against them. It's like they had expected the police to be on their side.
Yeah, now you may see that in different ones, but it seemed like they were right this time. I'm not blaming the Capitol Police or any law enforcement entity, but the video of blockades being opened so that they could get through, people being walked downstairs, you know, without the kind of traditional roughness or in cuffs that we're used to seeing, you know, selfies being taken with some of the law enforcement officers. I've never seen that in any riot that had any significant degree of people of color in it. Did you recognize that distinction today?
Well, I didn't see the gate opening myself. There were times when the police were letting people do more than I would have expected. So we went up to the door where people were charging the Capitol and going in, and the police were standing there, not letting them go further, but they weren't like pushing them out. It wasn't aggressive. But at some point, there were huge lines of cops, and they tear gassed people.
Right.
And a guy walked by with like a bloody
Why is she
head,
being so
saying,
weird?
"I can't believe this is what the government does to its citizens."
Well, when you break into the U.S. Capitol, you're kind of asking for it. But Ellie, thank you very much. Once again, you have captured the spirit of a situation, and we appreciate you for that. Thanks to you and your team.
Thank you.
And Ellie has been she does a great job when it comes to Trump supporters, which she's been doing things about, the alt-right and so on. So she has been out there in the trenches.
Kind of wild that all these dudes and ladies that are like my age, or like people that I know, are now in like legitimate, they're like becoming legitimate entities in journalism. You know what I mean? We got Donnie O'Sullivan, Jacob Soboroff at MSNBC. I mean, these people are like, some of them are a little bit older than me or around my age. Stop modding! I don't know her. Yeah, 4 people died, but 3 on accident, or well, all of them on accident. I think I'm fucking dying. Oh. This guy's a cop, right? Matthew Rosenberg, national security analyst.
Predicted this a few years ago. You would have said, well, you're crazy. There's bad and there's bad. But to see American citizens urged on by the president of the United States walk down Pennsylvania Avenue and get to the Capitol and just push past the police, go in there, break into the speaker's office, rip things off her wall, steal things from her office and brag about it outside.
Wait,
some of them waving Confederate flags.
This motherfucker wrote The Punisher, dude? What? It's not the same person, right? There's no way that's a different person, right? Expulsion and espionage accusations. On November 5th, 2009, The Nation printed a story that accused Rosenberg of being a spy. The story claimed that Rosenberg worked for the CIA and the U.S. security contractor formerly known as Blackwater. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, he's a Quebecer. Oh my God. No, there's a different Matthew Rosenberg who wrote The Punisher and shit. Who's your team for Rust at 5 p.m. tomorrow? I haven't looked into anything yet. For fucking very obvious reasons. Fuck, dude. There's a bunch of things that I wanted to do today, and it's like now all fucking ruined. Wait, hold up. Hold on 1 second, guys. There's I know. It's related to the fucking Twitch stuff, okay? I'm talking to some people in regards to what happened to my Twitch account. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. Like it's not a little deal, you know? Where like I mean, guys, there's a reason why I have 6 minutes logged on right now when I've been live since 10 a.m. this morning. I'm on my 13th hour. Anyway, just throw on CNN. No, I'm gonna.
Who were arrested today. But listen, that's a whole nother story. And for law enforcement, we'll ask them that question. I want to ask you, though, do they feel like the police should be on their side? Do you think that that in some way may have hindered the police or kept them from acting stronger to protect the Capitol or to push these people back?
You know, I want to be careful not to speculate here because I didn't see all the interactions with the police. I think they were caught totally off guard, totally unprepared, you know, and probably should have been far better prepared. But I think that among this crowd, there's an expectation that, yes, the police are on their side, that the police are ordinary Americans like them, and they are fighting for the ordinary Americans, and that anybody who opposes them is a communist, deep state, pedophile, what have you. So that's definitely there. And, you know, there is an expectation that, yes, the police are going to be on their side.
Matthew Rosenberg of the New York Times. Matthew, thank you. We appreciate your reporting, as always. Chris, we're going to have more to come on this remarkable Thursday morning. I was going to say, can you believe it? But you can. We've already discussed that. The horror.
We're living it.
Horror,
and it's not over Capitol. Because the people who did that today have no reason to feel that they did anything wrong. And that is the sign of the times.
We'll be right back.
Had the other 3 people die? We don't know yet. Complications potentially. Ad time? No, I'm not gonna run an ad. Literally tased themselves and died of a heart attack. They don't. One guy accidentally tased themselves allegedly. We don't know how long until the conspiracy theories about how those 3 deaths ramp up. Bro, that's a whole ass Benghazi, baby. Stephanie Grisham, Floater Chief of Staff, Ricky Niceta. I don't know what this account is. Okay, I don't know what the fucking account is. I don't know what's going on there. Wait, fuck, I can't. Oh my god. Did it quit again? No. These are like random accounts. I don't know what's going on. I can't like Viking dude took a pic with Giuliani. Yeah, Antifa dude. Damn, look at that. Ethan is like what is Miss Gossip Girl? Go back, they're objecting again? No, they're not.
Of this great republic.
This is earlier.
Our free and fair election process, and by extension,
Isn't this
the
earlier?
people's
This isn't live?
us as a nation, a process that we've shared with the world its moral force, a process that now sadly has been bastardized by those more interested in the maintenance of power than they are in the free and open voice of the American people. If I remember correctly, Democrats were calling for transparency in 2000 and 2004 when George W. Bush was elected, and again in 2016 when President Trump took office. Where are you now? I ask this: what do you have to lose by having a thorough investigation to determine the validity of these votes? Why not encourage an investigation to relieve the concerns of half the people in this country? If you are so convinced that Biden was elected legitimately, what do you have to fear? If there was no fraud, simply show us the proof, investigate it, validate it. This isn't about one candidate versus another. This is about upholding the principles that are indispensable to the existence of the democratic republic that we are so fortunate to call home. I have no doubt that there was widespread election fraud this past November, and I am not alone. I stand here today speaking for 75 million Americans whose voice was unconstitutionally silenced. To you, the silenced, I say this: I will continue to fight for you. You have been heard. For more than 240 years, tyranny has sought to extinguish the light of freedom. As Ronald Reagan said before, freedom is a fragile thing. It is never more than one generation away from extinction. The Constitution and the Bible on which it stands is stronger than the cheap, tyrannical tactics of those who seek to destroy it. And I yield back to the gentleman, Mr. Budd from North Carolina.
I thank my friend from Texas. You know, mob violence is not representative of our country or of this building. The American people, at least the ones that are still up watching right now, they have seen this body return to a peaceful debate. And that's the American way. So let's get back to that debate, and let's talk for a moment about Pennsylvania. For decades, absentee voting was reserved for members of the military and citizens who were medically or physically unable to get to the polls. But in 2019, Pennsylvania dramatically increased the amount of ballots that would be cast in the presidential election through expanded, no-excuse mail-in voting. On September 17th, Pennsylvania's Democrat-controlled Supreme Court violated the Constitution by extending the deadline to receive mail-in ballots. Article 2 states that legislatures, not the courts, determine the time, manner, and place of their state's elections. But Pennsylvania's High Court directed the state officials to assume that non-postmarked ballots were received on time, without any evidence that they were sent before Election Day. On October 23rd, while early voting was already underway, the state Supreme Court ruled that election officials did not have to authenticate signatures for mail-in ballots. To sum it up, Pennsylvania officials illegally did three critical things. One, they radically expanded vote by mail for virtually any reason. Two, they removed restrictions when a ballot could be sent in. And three, they removed signature verification on those very ballots. And just this week, the Pennsylvania Senate pleaded with members of this body to delay certification until the Supreme Court resolves these disputes. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania violated their own Constitution. They violated the U.S. Constitution. They opened the door for thousands of unverifiable ballots. Because they failed to guarantee the integrity of their votes, I cannot consent to accepting Pennsylvania's electoral votes.
Time has expired. Chair will receive a message.
Madam Speaker, a message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker,
Madam Secretary.
I have been directed by the Senate to inform the House that the Senate is ready to proceed in joint session with the House of Representatives.
Thank you.
It's pretty funny that like they have to work this hard to authenticate
To the challenge.
Gentlewoman is recognized for
Fuck.
5 minutes without objection.
They have to
Madam
work this
Speaker,
hard to
this is a sad day for America.
authenticate.
A day of shame. A day of ignominy. An
Did I say it
attack on
right?
this
I don't
Capitol,
even. I'm
an
second
attack
guessing.
on our
Tonight has been a
country.
disaster, dude.
Our words matter.
Disaster. I've gotten
Mobs,
clapped up twice.
Thugs, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists.
And now
attacked
English
our
as a
government
language that I
with the
thought I knew
aim
was
of
broken,
attacking our
fundamentally
free and fair
broken. My
election.
English is just wrong.
Make no mistake, these terrorists came armed with false flags, armed with hate, armed with weapons, and tragically armed with lies force-fed to them by those at the highest level of government, including some from the legislative and, yes, the executive branches. Incited by the one at the highest level of government, they attacked people, property, this Capitol, this cathedral of democracy. Words matter. In his last words to our nation and to all of us here, our dear colleague John Lewis wrote last July, "Democracy is not a state, it is an act, and each generation has an obligation to preserve its institutions." Democracy is a series of acts by you and by me, by citizens, one building upon the other and another. Not acts that we have heard and seen and suffered today, words and acts to incite violence, acts that tear at the very fabric of our democracy. Yet, Madam Speaker, I have hope. We too are armed. We are armed with the facts. We are armed with the truth. We are armed with the love of our country. We are armed with our sworn oaths, and we are armed with our precious Constitution. We have faced tyranny and insurrection before. We are here tonight to herald to America and to the world. We will defend our democracy, and we will endure. When I came into work this morning as I was preparing to come to the floor, I read Tom Friedman's op-ed, which began with the words from the Gospel of Mark. "For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? For what shall it profit any man?" I urge my Republican colleagues to have the courage to uphold their oath, courage like that of Congresswoman Margaret Chase Smith, a lifelong Republican, and the first in her party to speak out against McCarthyism. Putting duty over fear, she said, and I quote, "I don't want to see the Republican Party ride to political victory on the four horsemen of calumny, fear, ignorance, bigotry, smear. Surely Republicans are not that desperate for victory," end quote. For today we have seen the cost of victory by such means. It shook the very walls of this building. Our colleagues know there is no truth to this challenge. For what shall it profit a man? Madam Speaker, it has been my solemn honor to participate this sad day. I pray for our country, and I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen. What purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida seek recognition?
To support the objection of the electoral certification of the state of Pennsylvania.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a new representative here, I did not envision my first speech on the House floor to be this here tonight, but rather a tribute to our first responders and frontline workers who have been a shining light in an otherwise tough year for us all. After the events tonight, I am especially grateful for our men and women who put service above self, confronting lawlessness and danger while protecting this very chamber, its members, and our constitutional republic. As a member of the People's House and the wife of a first responder, thank you to our law enforcement here today. But especially after tonight's unacceptable breach of the People's House, I am furthermore resolved in the fact that we, as representatives of the people, must take a stand for every American's right to a free and fair election as guaranteed by the Constitution. Article 1, Section 4, Clause 1 of the Constitution explicitly rests the time and manner of our elections in the hands of our state legislatures. However, state law in the 2020 election was modified or circumvented without approval of the state legislatures. These actions are in clear violation of the Constitution, specifically Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, which grants state legislatures the sole authority to establish how state presidential electors are appointed. These changes, along with other election irregularities throughout the 2020 election, require me, as a member of this body, to object to the certification of these electoral votes, just as my colleagues across the aisle have objected to every Republican presidential election over the last 20 years. Tonight, as we undertake the very serious responsibility of debating these states' electoral certifications, I want to urge my colleagues to listen earnestly and with an open mind, remembering that just 3 days ago, we swore an oath to the United States Constitution, not a political party. Our constituents are counting on us. Our country is counting on us. Our children are counting on us, and we cannot let them down. In December, 25 of my freshman colleagues and I sent you, Madam Speaker, a letter imploring you to investigate these election irregularities. And to date, we have not received a response. That brings us to today. My colleagues across the aisle have repeatedly invoked our founding father, Benjamin Franklin, who famously said, "We have a republic if we can keep it." I say, let's keep it, and it is with that sentiment in mind that I ask my colleagues to defend the power vested in this legislative branch by the U.S. Constitution and reject the certification of the electoral votes of the state in question. It is our responsibility to have courage in the face of adversity and bring integrity back to this process, and with that, I yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from the great state of Texas.
I thank the gentlelady, my friend from the great state of Florida. As Americans, we believe governments receive their just powers from the consent of the governed. That sacred transaction can only happen legitimately in a free and fair election. Election integrity is the very lifeblood of our unrivaled system of self-government. The law and the Constitution give Congress not only the authority, but I believe the responsibility to serve as the last check on the integrity of our presidential elections. We either believe, according to statute, that every elector was lawfully certified and regularly given, or we don't. States certainly have broad delegated powers to administer federal elections, but they still must operate within the bounds of the Constitution. Despite receiving numerous petitions, and to the detriment of the country, I might add, the Supreme Court failed to answer the most important question of the 2020 election. Can entities outside of the state legislatures make election law? The plain language of Article 2 of the Constitution answers the question unequivocally, no. The decisions made today in these chambers are of the utmost consequence, and the horrible precedent that will be established if we don't act will have lasting impact on our beloved republic. This proceeding is not just about the integrity of this election, Madam Speaker. It's about ensuring the integrity of all future elections. I take no pleasure or pride in making my objection today, nor do I wish for any state electors to be disqualified. However, based on the law, the Constitution, and my conscience, I cannot support certifying votes from any state that violated the Constitution. This decision is not about loyalty to a president, Madam Speaker. It's about my fidelity to the Constitution and the oath that I swore. I yield back.
Thank you. The gentlewoman's time has expired. Does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I came here tonight prepared to talk about the place I represent and how well the Democratic and Republican county officials ran our election. I wanted to point out that in my home county of Allegheny County, in the place they were counting the votes, there were 31 video cameras, 31 in the same place, just showing people counting votes, every single one of them on paper with representatives from both campaigns watching.
I think Congress would be a lot cooler if they could just beat the shit out of one another. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just got up on horses and jousted or something. Like, seriously.
That set up the system under which we just ran the election, and that the reason the president lost,
at least it'd be fun to watch, you know,
as other Republicans in our state. He got fewer votes than all of them. I wanted to lay out all this evidence, Madam Speaker, because I thought it was a sign of respect for my colleagues, for all the Americans out there who don't know who to trust. I was raised on that. I was raised on that respect, which makes this a hard speech for me to give. Because to do this with any kind of honesty means admitting and declaring in this House that these objections don't deserve an ounce of respect. Not an ounce. A woman died out there tonight, and you're making these objections.
Stop saying leaked, Chad. Jesus Christ.
Let's be clear about what happened in this chamber today. Invaders came in for the first time since the War of 1812. They desecrated these halls and this chamber and practically every inch of ground where we work. And for the most part, they walked in here free. A lot of them walked out free. And there wasn't a person watching at home who didn't know why that was, because of the way that they look.
House will be in order.
My point, Madam Speaker, is this. Enough has been done here today already to try to strip this Congress of its dignity. And these objectors don't need to do any more. We know that that attack today, it didn't materialize out of nowhere. It was inspired by lies, the same lies that you're hearing in this room tonight. And the members who are repeating those lies should be ashamed of themselves. Their constituents should be ashamed of them. And we know what's going to happen as soon as I walk away, what's happened all night tonight, what will continue to happen. They will take these same symbols, these same concepts, they'll smuggle them into their arguments, they'll make the same arguments. And I want people at home, anyone who is still watching, to know these arguments are not for them, they're for you. None of the evidence we wanted to discuss here tonight will change their opinions or what they're about to say. But you need to know that's not the end. It's not as if there's nothing we can do because of that, and if there was, I don't think this nation would have made it to almost 250 years. The fact is, Madam Speaker, the fact is that at the end of the day, people...
Gentleman from Virginia.
What?
Gentleman will say this point of order.
Gentleman will say his point of order.
Yes, ma'am. Point of order. The gentleman said that there were lies on this floor here today, looking over this direction. I ask that those words be taken down. We may have a disagreement on matters, but
Mr. Mann, it's not timely.
This side of the aisle liars.
No, the gentleman's name was not timely. You didn't register an appropriate time. The gentleman will proceed.
Dude,
thank you, Madam
Congress members are the biggest
Speaker,
bitches on the planet.
That at the end of the day,
like the way they get so offended.
You say that about me every single day. So
the truth hurts.
Hold your tongue.
The truth hurts.
The gentleman
okay, it's
will
getting a little
proceed.
spicy. Throw hands, bitch. Throw hands, motherfucker.
It hurts. It hurts them. It hurts this country. It hurts all of us. But the fact is that the people have made this country work by not giving in. Go ahead, shout it out. Say
The gentleman is not in order. The gentleman will proceed. The gentleman will proceed.
One last thing to say, Madam Speaker, and I thank you for your patience. All people need to know, all they need to know tonight, Madam Speaker,
There'll be order in the House. There'll be order in the House. There'll be order in the House. The gentleman will clear the chamber.
Asses! Beat
The
their
gentleman will
asses!
clear the chamber.
Throw hands, motherfucker. Throw hands. Let's do it.
Gentleman will proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The truth hurts. But the fact is this. We want this government to work more than they want it to fail. And after everything that's happened today, we want that more than ever. Know that. Know that, the people watching at home. We want this government to work. We will make it work. They will not make it fail. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield back.
Thank you, John. Who's next? Who's, who?
That was Connor Lamb.
When is the appropriate time to
Pennsylvania
ask that the words be stricken and taken down?
Shut the fuck up, you Republican bitch, dude.
You are late.
Connor Lamb.
For what purposes, gentlemen?
That was
from
Connor
Louisiana
Lamb, Pennsylvania District 17. I mean, he's literally like a
you
baby.
seeking
So it's
recognition?
surprising that they're like,
Who seeks time to speak on the objection? Gentleman from Louisiana.
I rise, Madam Speaker, in support of the objection.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes without objection.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My. Let us take a deep breath, shall we?
what are you, a prospector in an old-timey Southern movie, dude? What is this?
The strength of our American republic is not only the peaceful transition of power.
I see that there's some. Jebediah told me that there was gold around these parts, but I did not recognize that the gold Jebediah told me was actually of the black variety. I'm talking coal. My. Would be a shame if we placed the railroad around these parts. That would directly help out with the prospecting.
United States, governors, secretaries of state, or local election commissions acted in violation of the election clause of the U.S. Constitution, wherein state legislatures are granted the sole authority to determine how presidential electors are appointed. It's that simple. State executive officials usurp the constitutionally
My man said fuck it, by the way. He was like, my nose is protruding out of the mask, so it's time to substitute to the move I like to call a chin diaper. Very good.
If we suspect that an election was compromised in a sovereign state, then we have a role in the seating of those electors and the counting. America is not a confederacy of states. We're a union of states. We're a representative republic. Therefore, each sovereign state has a deep obligation to follow the writ of its own election law during a federal election.
Bro, this dude literally sounds like he lives in a time where, like, he's defending slavery. Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot take you seriously. If you literally sound like an old-timey spaghetti western villain, it sounds like you should never use the word Confederacy, first of all, because, like, immediately it sounds like you put the mask back on. Nobody needs to see your face. Okay? And secondly, when you use the word Confederacy with that accent, there's like, red flags. It's just like alarm ringing in my mind where it's like, oh no.
Of the American people. May I ask, may we seek the quiet whisper of God's own voice within us. And I ask my colleagues to consider supporting this objection. I yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from New Jersey.
Thank you, and thank you for
a state that I refuse to recognize, as there are no oil refineries.
This is a debate. It's a discussion. Everybody has a right.
My colleagues in the House earlier said that we should not go forward with my bill that dictated that the more oil refineries you had, the more votes you had in the Electoral College.
A different opinion.
Leviticus Cornwall. Yeah, exactly.
For God's sake, as people watch this or see it or hear it, they expect more from us than that. We can disagree at a certain level. There is nothing worse than moral pomposity. Today was an amazing and terrible day. But one thing that we do know,
Someone needs
ladies
to
and
tell me where
gentlemen,
that
is that our
motherfucker
law
is from.
enforcement
Where is that dude from?
lives,
Chat, one of you knows.
and preserved our
He
democracy.
represents one of you guys, right?
firsthand,
Not this guy, not the New Jersey guy, but the other one.
Just as I do back home in
Pomposity. I can't. He's
brave
Louisiana,
men and
of
women
course.
put their lives on the line to defend all of us. May God bless the woman who lost her life today, and may God bless what is and will always be the greatest nation in the history of the world, the United States of America.
I mean, Louisiana
is
pretty.
Of our country's greatness
pretty
is
bad.
Our democratic system. Pardon me.
The rule of the House, you must use your mask.
At the core of our country's greatness is our democratic system of government. Without faith in the integrity of our elections,
I'm sorry, but if you literally can't have a mask on while you're on that stage, like, it's pretty obvious to me at that point that, like, you literally don't ever wear a mask. Okay? Like, if it's literally coming off your nose when you're talking, it's clear that you literally never wear a mask, and therefore you have no idea what fits on your face and how to control it. Okay? It's like a very clear indication that you're only putting that on for show when you're in the fucking floor. We're literally a year into the pandemic, dog. Like, figure out what fits on your fucking face, homie. That's a Democrat. Like, that's not... Right, I think that's a Democrat, isn't it? I don't even fucking know. Dude, there's too many politicians. They gotta...
I started this day disheartened that our
that's a
colleagues were going to drag us through this cynical political charade of
Dude, I don't even know.
objecting to duly certified electoral college votes. But I was ready and eager to defend Pennsylvania's elections and the will of Pennsylvania's
Jefferson
voters.
H. Van Drew
Never did I expect
is an American politician
to be
and
answering
a
calls from
dentist
family
serving as a
and
U.S.
friends
representative for New
concerned
Jersey's
for my
2nd
safety,
Congressional District.
or to have to barricade myself in an office. But most important of all, never did I expect to see our capital overrun by armed insurrectionists intent on disrupting our government at the urging of the president. What happened here today has made me heartsick for our country, but it only strengthens my resolve to uphold the rule of law and to protect the decision of Pennsylvania's voters. Earlier this week, we raised our hands and swore an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. But today, those who are blocking the counting of electors
South
from
Jersey,
Pennsylvania
dude.
are showing that their allegiance lies not to the Constitution or to their constituents, and many would argue not even to the Republican Party, but to their own political fortunes and the outgoing president.
Fucking South Jersey.
Pennsylvania's voters,
Wannabe Pennsylvania
not members of
ass.
Congress, are tasked
Part of the
with
fucking
choosing
state. God
Pennsylvania's
damn it.
presidential electors, and particularly not congressmen from other states. The people have spoken, and Pennsylvania certified our electors. We must respect our oath here by rejecting this unfounded objection to Pennsylvania's electoral votes and not substitute Congress's judgment for that of the people of Pennsylvania.
Hudson
Legal
County, baby.
challenges to elections are serious matters.
South
and
Jersey
that's why
has
there is
some
a place
dank ass
to
fucking
consider
pizza in
those
Atlantic
challenges
City.
in
One of the best
courtrooms before
buffalo chicken
impartial
slices I've
judges.
ever had in my
And
entire life. I have a lot of
Pennsylvania's
homies that live in
legal
South
process
Jersey,
has
like
worked.
near Atlantic City, where the rich part is.
pseudo-legal
Not Atlantic City, where not
arguments
the
that are
rich
being
part is,
raised by
but
the
at Bergen
objectors here
County, I
today
think.
Are not new.
Or was it Hudson County?
Over the past 2 months, the president and
I don't
his
know, the fucking
allies
rich
have
part of
filed
Atlantic
more
City,
than
like the near
20
Atlantic City,
lawsuits to
where all
challenge
like the fucking
Pennsylvania
doctors and
election.
shit live.
Those challenges have been rejected in federal courts, state courts, appellate courts.
No, not
and the
Bergen
United
County. Bergen
States
County's North
Supreme
Jersey.
Court.
You're right.
Challenges have been rejected by judges who are registered Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and who've been appointed
Atlantic
by
County,
Democratic
Cape
and
May
Republican
County.
presidents.
Maybe it's Cape May.
Why did they lose all those
No,
cases?
it's not Cherry Hill. I know
As
Cherry
Third
Hill
Circuit
too.
Judge
I have
Beavis,
friends
a
from Cherry Hill that
Trump-appointed